What's up, Scape Sipes, Custom Audio Reimagined. It's day 2 on this 53 Chevy Bel Air. I've already been working on it a little bit today. I've kind of went out of control on the kick panels. I thought I could get away with just doing a simple task, but of course I've blown it way out. So today may be an early day. We have some really bad storms getting ready to come through. But yesterday, this is what I attempted to try and use as a base, and it worked. So I did fiberglass resin on both sides, and it stiffened up this foam board to where I can use it as a base. And when I put them in the vehicle, they fit perfect. They're holding their contour. See, every little wrinkle and curve right there is needed for it to sit in the vehicle. So this actually worked out. I went ahead and started on the driver's side already. So here's the driver's side. I did a very basic, just lasered out a piece of wood, a ring, so that matches, the speaker it's going in. The customer had these Alpines. I was gonna use another set, but the Alpines he has seem to be pretty decent, so I'm gonna go ahead and use these Alpines. This is actually my third attempt. I've had it positioned multiple times and I've just had to relocate it. And the problem is, the brights, it's a foot lever right there. So your foot has to sit like right here to push on this lever. I had this down too low and I've had to slowly move it up, and I've got it now where it's got a pretty good angle and it's gonna sit fine. Now these white lines, this is paper, so this will come off. This isn't actually attached. This is a template. Now what all this represents is while I had it in the vehicle test fitting, it was obviously sitting up in the kick panel, like so. I put my foot down, I marked where my feet would need for clearance and everything for this to work out. So I did these hash lines, and these hash lines represent where the mold fabric can go to. So I can do a stretch to these lines and then fiberglass it, and then that will all fit to where you can still get to the brights, and that's a nice pitched speaker. It's gonna be pointing right up at the driver. This is my template for what I need to cut as a piece that's gonna set here, and this is the lines that represent that template. That gives me an edge for me to attach my mold fabric to, because if I take the mold fabric around the edges of this piece, it's just gonna curl it up because the fiberglass resin is gonna cure and tighten, and all this is gonna pull and it's gonna destroy the shape. So I'll make this out of 1/4 inch, whatever, it doesn't matter, basswood, it doesn't matter, just anything that I can at least get a staple in. That'll get mounted there. Then I'll come over with my mold fabric and I'll be able to staple to the sides all the way around. Then I can resin it, and then that will create this nice hard shell that's gonna be able to go in the kick panel and hold the speaker. Now how I'm gonna finish it, I'm not quite sure yet. I don't really have green material. I mean, I never use green material for anything. I didn't have enough time ahead of time of what this car even was or colors to order anything special. The customer said if I made it white, that would be fine. So I'm not really sure how I'm gonna finish it out yet. That's kind of up in the air. I do have the rhino lining material where I could rhino line them, which would make them a little bit more durable. This pod is about ready for me I'm gonna make this, put it on there. Once I have that pod figured up in my head, this pod will go 75% faster. That's how it always is. Once I get the first one done, I can bang out the second one like it's nothing, because I know exactly what I'm doing. And here we have the passenger side, test fitting it. Seems like it's gonna be all right. It's got a nice angle pointing right into the passengers here. Biggest issue I'm gonna have, this carpet. They glued it down to the board. That side, the board is all rotted from water damage, so the carpet was able to come over no problem. This side, the board wants to rip and break apart, because this is what it looks like on the driver's side. But I don't want to damage it, and it's not wanting to release without damaging it. So I'm kind of in this little stuck situation where I kind of need the carpet to pull back like that so that I can get it in there properly when I do the stretch, because I'm gonna run into an issue with it back here in this area. But the ring's temporarily set there and it looks like everything's good. I believe I can move forward with creating the edge plates like I am on the driver's side right now. Here's the driver's side with the edge plates. I just got done laser cutting those out, and they're basically like a jigsaw puzzle, mainly because I don't have any material that was big enough. I'm really running low on all my material that's of good size, so I had to do it in pieces, so it's like a puzzle. And then I put arrows pointing numbered so I know which pieces go where. As you can see, that creates an edge all the way around. When I do the mold fabric, I can do a pull, and this will just be really the only section that's actually coming out as glass. The rest will all stay flat, so it won't hinder your foot here, and up here it won't hinder that cable system that's going on. And here are my kicks, which are very ugly to look at right now, but it's actually quite functional. So this is the passenger side. You have to remember, I don't have to make these like crazy structural. They're not holding some crazy mid-bass woofers. Very simple. All it's got to do is hold the weight of a speaker, of a very light speaker, and have just a little bit of airspace. So I'm not really too concerned about making this built up like some crazy show car that's gonna have a crazy system in it. I'm not going to staple. As you can see, this is thicker. This is the thinner ones here. I wasn't sure if I really needed this much. This was a little bit of overkill, and it was a lot of extra work on the laser, so I just went with these because I changed my mind. I don't think I'm gonna be stapling. I don't wanna deal with the staples and all the body filler and everything that has to be done just to clean up all that. You can get away with gluing mold fabric. I've done it 100 times. So if I glue the mold fabric down, then I can tape. So if I do it, it doesn't resin out and get out here to where it's all crazy. This is gonna be kind of a pain. I'm almost sure I have enough resin, but I'm gonna be right on the edge. I'm out of a lot of materials. I haven't restocked the shop in so long. Before it starts pouring and hailing crazy, I'd like to be home, because if we lose power, I gotta get, you know, the generators and everything going. But everybody's car is in the shop, so the shop is full right now. With my son's car, the Mercedes, the Bel Air, my daughter's car, because if it's gonna hail, none of us wanna get our cars destroyed. Now the Hummer, it's made for this. So if it gets hailed on, it gets hailed on. But if they lose power, like my mom's house, I'll have to go get my mom, and I'm not gonna walk, obviously. So the Hummer will be the rescue vehicle to get my mom and my daughter and bring them to the house where I have generators. But I'm not gonna get near as far as I was planning on because of the storm. And with the resin laid up, we're gonna let those cure overnight. I had just enough to get that on there, but gives you the idea of the shape. Once that hardens up and cures, it should be bonding to the actual base as well, because I did resin that, like I said, last night. So resin will bond to resin. I'll pull that tape off. We'll cut away all the rest over that's not part of this. But I think that's gonna be it for the night. Almost time for the storm to get out of control. So I'm gonna get out of here while I can, and I will see you tomorrow. What's up? It's day 2 on the 53 Chevy Bel Air, I think. Maybe it's 3. Really not quite sure. My days are getting real confused because I'm doing too many cars at the same time, and it's starting to get a little bit out of hand. Now I bet you won't believe what I'm getting ready to say, but got started late today. So today, I'm not gonna get near as far as I was hoping, which I was really hoping to be almost done, but it's about 2 o'clock already and I haven't started yet. And here's our kick panel so far for the Bel Air. As you can see, they're fiberglass. This is what it looks like before. Went ahead, wrapped the fleece, taped them, and then this is what it looks like after. I pulled the tape, took scissors, cut off all the unsaturated fleece as much as I could. I still need to take a razor. I need to get even cleaner on there. So the next step is gonna be a light, just kind of a rough sand on these. And then we need to do a body fill transition, skim body filler over this. Then after that, we'll knock it down a little bit. Then we do our mixture of resin and body filler. We do the pour, that'll and self-level. Unfortunately, there's no way I'm gonna get all that done today. I was hoping to have all that done today. I could have got the first coat on, sand it down. Then the second half of the day, I would have been doing what I just said. Way more than I said I was gonna do, and way more than I quoted. But it just got to the point where there was only one way to do it, was really this way. There was no way to do it with just a piece of board or flat piece of wood or anything where it was gonna be like worth doing. Without getting the speakers that angle kicking to the actual passengers in the car, it's kind of pointless. It's like the new Bronco. Their Kickpanel speakers, they're just the dumbest speakers. They do nothing. They're just there so they can say they put speakers in the vehicle. But unless your feet grew ears, they're useless. I also have to figure out how I'm going to finish these. This is the original Kickpanel. So this is the color. It's a green. I do not have any green material, and I do not live anywhere near a place that sells material. Paint is gonna be the only option. Now, how I'm gonna create this texture, I can either do the rhino line thing, or I can try to do a stamp and create this texture. I think I'm gonna do the rhino line because it's faster and I don't have time to be trying to figure out this stamp. The rhino line stuff will do the same thing as like a leather texture like this if you use the right roller. The roller is what dictates the texture of the rhino lining. You use a real aggressive one, that's how you get that real gritty look. If you use one that has this, or if you get a solid sponge roller and then take a soldering iron and just make little like lines in it, you can create this. Another trick, take aluminum foil, kind of wad it up into a ball. Doesn't have to be a crazy tight ball, but it needs to be a decent sized ball. Take the foam roller. You want to get one of those foam rollers that's kind of hard foam, doesn't have any texture to it. You push the aluminum foil down into the foam and just do that all the way around. That will create the same texture as leather. I have two colors of green in my shop. There they are. One's camouflage and one's this whatever. Is it weird that I still impress myself? I'm not saying that to be cocky. I just still get that feeling of, oh, pulled that off. So there's the Kickpanel, passenger side, and the driver's side. And everything fits perfectly. You can still get your foot underneath that side to do the brights. I shaped it so that your foot can go up in there. Now I know you can see the little wrinkles. There's no way to make that stretch. I had to get that to be a very tight transition, but that'll all be done with filler. I'll just fill that in and make that look nice. I really thought I'd have at least some kind of trouble. Next up is to remove those, start finishing them out, the body filler and everything. I am absolutely filthy and not near where I want to be, but we're making headway. Just they are such a steep shape and such a hard pull that you can't use like air tools. Plus the bases that I've made, you know, the foam board that's resined, they're rigid enough, but they aren't so rigid that if you were to put stress, like push on them, I mean, you could crack or break them. That being said, I'm having to do everything by hand, which really sucks. And on top of that, I am out of my good filler. I did not realize I'm not out of it, but the winter, it apparently froze up. So my filler that I really like, that lays out so nice and smooth, and the stuff that I make my little soup out of and pour over, is just chunky and really just didn't do me any good. And this is what I mean. Now normally, not that big a deal. If this was like wood and fiberglass, you could just manhandle it, use a DA, sand it. But this not being wood has that little bit of flex. That flex is what I need to be able to get it into the car. Unfortunately, that also means I can't manhandle it and really push down and use a DA because I will end up destroying it and cracking the stretch away from the base. So I'm having to babysit it. I'm pretty sure I said on day one, I wasn't gonna do any chemicals. I wasn't gonna use any fiberglass. In this budget, we need to figure out a way to do panels in the kicks that can straight up hold speakers without any kind of chemicals, no fiberglass, nothing crazy like that. I'm just a big liar. I have a test piece in here that I took the rhino lining and then I created a leather texture on it and then painted it. And I haven't looked to see what the results are, so let's go see if it worked out. And it actually worked. Now, I don't want it shiny, so This is not the paint I'm gonna be using. We got we got satin, and then I believe flat. The steps will be as followed. Get these sanded down to where they're pretty close to smooth, but not paint finish quality. The rhino lining material is so thick that it will fill any kind of things that look ugly. On top of that, you only see about 30% of these pods. You don't see the tops, you don't see the back, so I really don't care about it being perfect. And if somebody ever took these pods out and then made fun of them, more power to you. Hit them with the rhino line, and then while that rhino line's kind of kicking, almost dried, we'll hit it with the aluminum foil. Then after they're dry, then we got to hit them with some kind of matte finish. So as you can see, that is pretty much an entire day, if not a day and a half of work and dry times. While it's drying, I'll be in there doing the wiring and getting the amps all ready and getting that all figured up. I haven't been dirty like this in a long time. Keep grinding on this car for at least another couple days, because it's like 8 o'clock now. I'm done, I'm tired. I'm too old to be hand sanding this stuff. I'm gonna head out, and then tomorrow I will work on it, but not until late in the afternoon. That being said, I'll see you tomorrow.